What's up, team? James here, bringing you episode number 3 of our nutrition workshop. So last time out, we talked all about habits and behaviors and discovering those triggers. And hopefully if you are following this along sort of week by week, you're starting to build a little bit of awareness of where you could potentially improve with areas of your and hopefully things that also you know you're doing well. I mean, a lot of times we're always got to be conscious that it's not all bad, it's not all doom and gloom. A lot of us actually do really good things, but there's always that room for those like 1% improvements. So we're going to do my best not to waffle too much today. We're going to talk about our social occasions, and specifically we're going to look at like a theory that I have around like banking calories. Hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense as we go through it. So social occasions, as we all know, are big hurdles when it comes to our nutrition. They're opportunities where we're going to have an excess of calories. We might not consume the healthiest of foods, and we're probably more than likely for a lot of people, we're going to be consuming alcohol. It's important to note that my stance on this is that we have to be able to live, and I'll keep saying it. We don't want to be these sort of hermits that stay at home all day long because they couldn't possibly eat anything other than chicken, broccoli and rice. That's not what I'm about. It's about trying to live as healthy as possible whilst enjoying and living life to the max. Banking calories could be a really good option for us when it comes to our social occasions. If I know that I've got a social occasion coming up on the Friday or Saturday and I'm at the start of my week, again, planning ahead, it's a key theme here, I would be looking at staggering my calories over my week. So let's break this down. The sort of rough guesstimate for a lot of the ladies that we train here at 365, so that's women that are sort of late 30s into their 60s and beyond, is around 1,600 to 1,800 calories per day as a ballpark figure. For some of you it might change. If we were to obviously times that by 7, or 1,800 times 7, we've got 12,600 calories. So now all of a sudden, rather than looking at this as a daily amount of calories, we're looking at this as our week total. This, again, we're basing it around a social occasion. This is not a week in, week out that I would suggest this. Taking that 12,600 calories and spreading it over our week means that we can almost somewhat enjoy our weekend with as little sort of kickback and as effect from it as possible. Most of you are probably aware that Monday through to Thursday, we're always on it and on plan as such. And then the weekends come along, we're more social. We see our friends, we see our family, we go out for food, we wine and dine, we probably overconsume our calories, we do less exercise, and for a lot of us, we probably undo a lot of the hard work that we put in throughout the week. So this is our attempt to stop it. Taking those 12,600 calories over our week, what we can look to then do is divvy them out. My Friday and Saturday, I've put down that I'm probably on the Friday going to consume more like in the 2,200, 2,300 calories that day. Saturday, I'm going out in the evening with my mates. I'm probably going to consume, let's say, in excess of 3,000 calories because we always grossly underestimate how many calories we consume anyways. So we're going to go big on the weekends. 1,200, 3,000 calories on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we might have slightly more again, maybe closer to that 1,900 calories. What we can then look at doing is going, hang on a minute, I've already used half my calories amount just on the weekend alone, is we can play the game, as I call it. On our training days, so for a lot of our members, they're going to train 2, maybe 3 sessions a week. They will consume a higher amount of calories on those days. So maybe 1,800 calories on the training days. And then we're going to drop them down on the days that we're not training. So it might be closer to like 1,200, 1,500. Now, I would never normally suggest to drop our calories below our BMR, our basal metabolic rate. But for this instance, it's not going to be for a long duration. It's literally going to be a one day here or there. And I think that's absolutely fine. But what's that has allowed us to do is, like I say, we've banked calories over the course of our week because we've been training. So we've been expending calories. We've been in a deficit, or we've been consuming less calories than we normally bring in. And it means that we can go into that weekend and those social occasions without fear, without that feeling of, no, I can't have the food that I really want and know that I'll enjoy because it's not going to work. It's not going to work with my diet. One of the common things we see people is they do, I'm going to do a 6-week challenge and I'm not going to drink any alcohol and I'm not going to eat any sweets or chocolate and I'm not going to do, and it's very much a, what can I take away? It's what things can I remove, which ultimately can become a little bit almost negative and sort of restrictive, I guess is the right word. If you can think of all of the things that we can add into our life and add into our diets and into our routines, all of a sudden we see it's an opportunity for us to grow and do a little bit more rather than constantly taking things away. So it's like, actually, if I play around and I'm organised and I plan ahead with what I'm going to be doing, I can add in the fact that I'm going to have a couple of drinks with my friends this weekend. I can add in the fact that I'm going to go and eat a really nice pizza that I've been looking forward to for ages, rather than it being a constant game of restriction and neglecting the things that we really want to have. Ultimately, if we neglect everything and we don't let ourselves have it, at some point down the line, you're going to binge, you're going to overconsume, and we're going to have that unhealthy relationship with food. If we make it the norm, and it's one of those things, everything in moderation, as we always hear it, we make it the norm and we plan ahead and that becomes a standard routine for us, we're going to succeed with it for far longer, and we're going to get the benefits out of it for far longer as well. So we're looking at that banking calories over a week. Obviously, that means you do need to have a rough idea of how many calories you're consuming, but an obvious way of looking at it is, if normally you would have snacks on certain days, just take the snacks away. You're probably going to save yourself 200-300 calories minimum with your snacks. If you like having coffees and your go-to is a latte or a cappuccino, just on those days, potentially just stick to black coffee. Again, it's an easy calorie saver that in the weekend, if you do go out for coffee with friends, go for it. Fill your boots and have whatever you want. The old pumpkin spice latte at this time of year. That's absolutely fine because you haven't had it every single day. You've just had it that once at the weekend. Our free commitments that we then go into for this week, as bearing in mind we've looked at social occasions, is again planning ahead. So we've put down that your food shop is going to be pre-planned. If you do it online, you've had a look at your week ahead and you've picked your protein first and you've organised your week in that sense. And then once you've planned your food shop, you also know then what you're going to be having for your meals. Preferably lunches and dinners are sort of set in stone. And that way, taking the guesswork out of it. We've continued to make sure we book 2 to 3 sessions a week in our strength sessions. And then one extra one for us to consider going into this week is adding 2 more colours to our main meal. A lot of people are guilty of eating beige banquets a lot of the time. And again, unless you photograph it and make yourself aware, you probably don't even realise that you do it. Add some colour into your meals. It's going to give you some more nutrients. It's going to make you feel a bit healthier. It's going to give you more energy. It might make you sleep better. It might make your skin look better, your hair, your nails, those things. So we're looking at getting our food shop and meals pre-planned and organised. We're looking at getting those sessions booked in, and we're adding some colour into our foods. By this point, guys, hopefully we're on a bit of a roll and we're starting to build some momentum. So let me know. Drop a note into the comments or come and find me at the gym and let me know, what social occasions have you got coming up? How are you going to navigate it? What are we going to do to work around it? Because I'd love to see these things that we're talking about implemented into the real world. Because it's all well and good listening to it, but we have to make sure that we take action. In the next episode of our nutrition workshop, this nutrition series, we're going to be looking at alcohol specifically and how we can still integrate alcohol into our lives, but again, how we can make it work and how we can use it as healthily as possible. That one I think will be a massive one for a lot of our listeners, to conquer alcohol and to make it sort of a friend, not foe. So look out for that next episode. Thank you for listening, and please share this podcast far and wide, because sometimes a little nudge is all you need to change your life.